visuals, things that grab people's attention.
So less lecturing, more engaging with people's emotions. What kind of messages does he think would resonate?
He's big on focusing on the positive, the benefits of sustainability, not just the doom and gloom of what happens if we don't act. He wants people to understand that it's not about giving things up, it's about creating a better world. Talk about clean air, new job opportunities, a fairer society, those kinds of things.
Painting a picture of a future worth fighting for.
Exactly. And it's crucial to actually see if these campaigns are working, right? He talks about using data like surveys and stuff to measure changes in how people think and act.
So making sure it's not just talk, but actual measurable change.
Right. It's a process, it takes time, you got to keep tracking, learning, and adapting your approach to make the biggest impact.
Okay, makes sense. Now, his final initiative is about investing in R&D. He seems to really emphasize the role of research and development in achieving his vision.
Totally. He's all about it. To him, R&D is like the engine of innovation. And innovation is what we need to create a sustainable future. We need to keep pushing boundaries, exploring new ideas, and finding new technologies to overcome these challenges.
So it's about investing in the future, in the tools and knowledge we'll need to build a better world. But what kind of R&D is he talking about specifically? Where does he see the biggest potential for breakthroughs?
He mentions a lot of areas. Renewable energy technologies, better ways to store energy, more efficient carbon capture, sustainable agriculture practices, and even eco-friendly building materials. He sees a ton of potential in all of these areas. Investing in R&D now, he argues, is how we create that sustainable and prosperous future for everyone.
Okay, let's circle back to his idea of sustainable development insperity for a minute. Can you remind us what that means and why he thinks it's so important?
It's the idea that sustainability isn't just about protecting the environment, it's about creating a world where everyone has what they need to thrive. Clean water, good food, quality education, economic opportunities, and resilient communities.
So environmental sustainability and social justice going hand in hand.
Exactly. And he believes that to achieve this, we need a real shift in how we think. We got to stop seeing economic growth and environmental protection as two separate things. They're connected, they got to work together.
It's about recognizing that true prosperity includes environmental and social well-being, not just economic growth.
Absolutely. And understanding that sustainability isn't about sacrifice, it's about creating a better world for everyone.
So we've got these grand visions and ideas, but how do we actually make them happen? What are the practical steps?
Well, like we've been discussing, he's proposing this multifaceted approach. Policy changes, technological innovations, public-private partnerships, and most importantly, a change in our mindset.
It sounds like a huge undertaking, but also incredibly exciting. It's like we're at the beginning of something new, where sustainability isn't an afterthought, but the driving force behind everything we do.
Totally agree. And I think Dr. Hai's work gives us a really solid plan for how to make this transition happen. He doesn't just point out the problems, he offers solutions.
It's refreshing to hear someone tackling these issues with such a sense of optimism and possibility.
And it's not naive optimism, it's based on a deep understanding of the issues and a belief that we can actually solve them. He's not ignoring the complexity, but he's also highlighting our ability to innovate and adapt.
Yeah, we've overcome big challenges before, and we could do it again.
Exactly. He's calling on us to reject despair and apathy and be part of the solution. And he's given us a roadmap to follow.
Okay, so let's break down his strategic initiatives. He talks about 4 main categories: advocating for policy changes, fostering public-private partnerships, launching education and awareness campaigns, and investing in research and development.
And he doesn't just present them as separate things, he connects them all back to his 6-0 framework and his vision for sustainable development and insperity. Each initiative contributes to the bigger picture, helping us create a more sustainable and just world.
Let's dive into each one, starting with policy advocacy. What's his take on the role of government in driving sustainability?
He believes governments need to create the right incentives for people and businesses to adopt sustainable practices. Things like policies that promote renewable energy, energy efficiency, sustainable transportation, and circular economy models, and regulations that protect our natural resources and cut down on pollution.
So creating a system that rewards good behavior and makes it harder to do the wrong thing.
Yeah, and being smart about it. He mentions things like carbon pricing mechanisms, giving financial support to renewable energy projects, offering tax breaks for energy-efficient buildings, and setting stricter emission standards for vehicles.
A mix of incentives and regulations to move us in the right direction.
Exactly. And he's clear that these policies need to be fair and equitable. He gets that transitioning to a sustainable future might require some sacrifices, and he wants to make sure those sacrifices are shared fairly across society.
Okay, that's policy advocacy. Now, what about public-private partnerships? We talked about the potential before the break, but I'm curious to hear more about his specific recommendations for making these partnerships successful.
He stresses the importance of everyone being on the same page. The public and private sectors need to have a shared vision and clearly defined goals. Otherwise, it's just going to fall apart.
So it's not just about getting people in the same room. It's about making sure they're actually working towards the same thing.
Right, and open communication is key. Transparency, accountability, building trust. He believes that's the foundation for any successful partnership.
It sounds like he's learned from past experiences where things haven't always gone smoothly.
Definitely. He's seen what doesn't work, and he's offering the blueprint for doing it better.
Okay, that's public-private partnerships. What about education and awareness campaigns? What are his specific recommendations for crafting effective campaigns that resonate with people and get them to take action?
He loves storytelling. He believes that people connect with stories and emotions more than just facts and figures. And he wants these campaigns to be creative and engaging. Think memorable and shareable content.
So moving beyond the traditional preachy public service announcement.
Yeah. He talks about using humor, music, art, social media, all sorts of things to grab people's attention and make sustainability something they're actually excited to talk about.
It's a good reminder that sustainability doesn't have to be boring or guilt-trippy. It can be fun and inspiring.
Exactly. And it's about reaching different people in different ways. He wants to use all kinds of channels: traditional media, social media, community events, anything that works.
Okay, finally, let's talk about investment in research and development. Why is this so important to Dr. Hai?
He sees R&D as the key to unlocking a truly sustainable future. It's the driver of innovation. It's how we develop new technologies, new ways of doing things, new ways of thinking that can help us solve these incredibly complex problems.
So investing in the future, in the tools and knowledge that will allow us to build a better world. But what specific areas of R&D does he recommend focusing on?
Oh, a lot. Renewable energy, energy storage, carbon capture, sustainable agriculture, green building materials. He sees all of these as areas ripe for innovation. Investing now, he believes, will pay off huge dividends down the road.
It's exciting to think about all the possibilities out there, just waiting to be discovered and developed.
Absolutely. It's inspiring to see someone like Dr. Hai thinking so holistically about these issues and offering such a comprehensive plan of action.
I agree. What's impressive is that it's not just theoretical. It's grounded in research, real-world examples, and a clear path forward.
It's not just a dream, it's a roadmap.
Exactly. And that's what makes his work so compelling. He's not just telling us what's wrong, he's showing us how to fix it.
It's a message of hope and empowerment. It's a reminder that we have the power to create a better world, but it's going to take all of us working together.
Couldn't agree more. It's important to acknowledge how bold his approach is. It's easy to get discouraged when you see the scale of the challenges we're facing.
It's refreshing to hear someone offer a more optimistic perspective.
And it's not just blind optimism. It's grounded in a deep understanding of the issues and a belief in our ability to solve them. He sees the complexity, but he also highlights our incredible ingenuity and resilience. It reminds me that we've faced tough challenges before, and we've found ways to overcome them.
Exactly. He's urging us not to give up hope. He's calling us to action, inviting us to be part of the solution, and he's given us a roadmap to follow.
Okay, let's revisit his 6-0 framework. We've all heard about goals like these before, but what makes Dr. Hai's approach different?
One thing that really stands out is how he connects these goals to real-world impacts. For example, most people understand that reducing emissions is good for the environment, but he goes further, linking it to things like improved respiratory health, lower healthcare costs, even higher worker productivity. Suddenly, it's not just an environmental issue, it's an economic and social issue too.
That's a great point. He's making these goals relevant to everyone, not just environmentalists.
Exactly, and he does the same thing with all 6 zeros. Take zero literacy, for instance. Everyone knows education is important, but he connects it to things like lower crime rates, more active citizens, and a stronger democracy. It's a strong argument for investing in education, not just because it's the right thing to do, but because it's essential for social and economic progress.
He's making a compelling case for why these goals matter, not just in some abstract way, but in a way that directly affects our